Hi friends, today we are going to see the past year NEET questions for the chapter Transport in Plants, and today in this video we will cover part 2. Now let's begin with the first question here. This question was asked in the year 1990. Let's read it here. A bottle filled with previously moistened mustard seeds and water was screw capped tightly and kept in a corner. It blew up suddenly after about half an hour. The phenomenon involved is dash. Okay, now we are given 4 options here: diffusion, osmosis, imbition, and diffusion, deficit pressure. Okay, so here out of the 4 options, we very well know, since it is a push or the force that comes out, right? It is tightly screw capped, but still it is break opening, means it is some sort of pressure which is involved here. Okay, it is understood it is some sort of pressure. Now out of the 4 options, we know diffusion, osmosis, they don't exert that pressure, and you know it is from the lower to the higher concentration, right? So the correct answer here is imbition. So what do you mean by imbition? What is the common meaning for imbition? The absorption of one substance by another in a particular, or you can say the uptake of water by a plant or a seed. Okay, so that is the common meaning of imbition. Now imbition pressure, it causes, this imbition will cause pressure. Okay, it will cause pressure. So what happens when pressure is exerted from the seed? It exerts more pressure. That is why it is able to push off, or the force of the screw cap. Okay, so imbition pressure developed during the germination of the seed and the spores are of higher magnitude. Okay, they are of higher magnitude. That is why the bottle cap gets blued off by the pressure that is exerted from the seed. Okay, therefore the correct answer to this question is imbition, option B. Now to your right side, you can see a picture which clearly tells you what is imbition. You are given 2 examples there. One is absorption of water by seeds and the other is absorption of water by dry wood. See, imbition is a special type of diffusion when water is absorbed by solids. So what all systems can absorb this? See, imagine a system is totally dry. Okay, totally dry, and imagine the system comes in contact with water. What it will do, it will immediately absorb water. So that is a system which is seen in imbition here. So what happens here, when the dry seeds and dry wood, when they come in contact with water, they immediately absorb water. Imbition is also diffusion, since water movement is along the concentration gradient. The seeds and other such materials have almost no water, hence they absorb water very easily. And seeds, once they absorb this water, that is one form of diffusion they have explained. But imagine a system where you don't have any water. The water is very less amount and you're closing the container. So there is some kind of pressure which is exerted, will push the cap out of the container. Okay, so thereby the correct answer for this question is option B. Now let's move to the next question here. This question was asked in the year 1988. Very easy question for you to answer. Water potential is equal to dash. Again, this is an easy question we already discussed in the early part. Now, water potential is defined as a difference between the chemical potential of water at any point in a system and that of the pure water potential. So what are the 2 potentials that we are taking? We are taking chemical water potential, and we are taking the pure water potential. Okay, and we all know that the standard value for the pure water potential is always 0. The unit of measurement for water potential is Pascal. Okay, and they are represented using psi. So which you have here. This is called as psi, and this is basically a Greek letter. Okay, water potential has 2 components. One is the solute potential, which is always negative, and the pressure potential, which is usually positive. Now so we take 2 things into consideration here. What are the 2 potentials that we take into consideration? One is the pressure potential and the other is the solute potential. Therefore, when you add both, you will get the answer of water potential. Therefore, water potential is equal to solute potential plus pressure potential. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option D. Okay, next question. This question was asked in the year 2015. A column of water within xylem vessels of tall trees do not break under its weight because of dash. I already said what is tensile. If you remember what is tensile, it will be easy for you to answer here. See, one thing you need to understand here is, imagine it's a huge tree and all that pressure is exerted in the base. Okay, how can that tree withstand? Okay, that is a question here. Now, what is xylem? What do you know about xylem here? We all know xylem is a system or a feature that is present in vascular plants, right? They are present in vascular plants. Vascular plants are the ones which are blessed with xylem and phloem, which helps in the transport system. It can be water, it can be minerals, it can be any other materials which are transported between the leaf, stem, root and everything. So the correct answer to this question is, and before that, xylem is a transport system for water and minerals. Okay, so here a column of water within xylem vessels of tall trees does not break under its weight because of the tensile strength of water. Okay, it is because of the tensile strength of water. So I told you what is tensile. It is the ability or the capability to withstand the pressure or the weight. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option A. Okay, fine. Now moving on to the next question. Root pressure develops due to. Easy question again. This question was asked in the year 2015. So we all know a plant or a tree. It might be any system. That system will have something called root pressure, because the root is what present under the ground, and that is where the seed will germinate and produce a big plant, and it grows as days by. Now that pressure is actually focused on the roots. Whatever the plant exerts will be focused on the roots. Okay, now that root pressure is developing due to what? So here you're given 4 options here. We already saw in the part 1 there is a difference between active and passive. Now when I say active, it uses the property of ATP. It requires ATP for its transport system. But if you take passive absorption, it is not like that, right? Passive absorption, it's a normal process, and it does not require any metabolic pathway for it to for the transport system to happen. So root pressure develops due to active absorption. Okay, active absorption creates root pressure. In this process, the expenditure of the energy takes place. Since ATP occurs due to the metabolic pathway, we get ATP because of the metabolic pathway. Therefore, this ATP is once again expenditure of energy. So once the energy starts getting spended, pressure is exerted. So root pressure develops due to the active absorption, which is option D. Next question here. This question again 2015. Roots play insignificant role in absorption of water. Okay, this is once again an easy question. Here they have given you a hint. What hint is that? If you see, the plant has to be hydrophyte. Okay, the plant has to be hydrophyte if it does not require root system for absorption of water. So out of the 4 options given here, pea plant is not an hydrophyte, neither sunflower nor wheat. The only hydrophyte given in the options are pistia. Since pistia is actually hydrophyte, it will not require a special system or a special root system for it to absorb water, because it is already present in water. Okay, so therefore the correct answer to this question is option A, and to your right side you can see the clear picture of pistia. So this is how the growth is. It will grow in places where there are more quantity of water. So here you need to remember, a hydrophyte plant will not require an external source for it to absorb water. So roots play an insignificant role in absorption of water in option A, pistia. Okay, next question. This question was asked in the year 2011. What do you mean by guttation? Guttation is a result of dash. Now what do you mean by guttation? How can you describe it? See, you're given 4 options here: diffusion, transpiration, osmosis and root pressure. Okay, The main cause of guttation in plants is because of the root pressure. Now what is guttation? See, there is a process in plant whereby it will undergo photosynthesis, then it requires a transport system. You have many actions that it has to undergo. So the main cause of guttation in plants is because of the root pressure. We already saw in the earlier question that root pressure is developing due to the active transport or the active absorption which take place during night when root pressure is high. So when will the root pressure be high? If you see, it is during the night, not during the day. Okay, so what happens is, imagine the system has excess water. Okay, it has to be removed from the plant now, therefore it will be in the form of droplets. Okay, always remember this. When excess water is being fed to the plant, after some time, if you must have viewed this kind of condition while watering the plants. After some time, when you go view it in the garden, you will see the leaves will have certain water droplets on them. So this is because of guttation. Okay, so excess water will come out of the plant in the form of droplets. So guttation is a result of root pressure. Imagine a system, it cannot withstand more water. It's a pressure for the root now. It cannot absorb more water. So guttation is a result of root pressure. Option D is the answer. Next question here. This question was asked in the year 2008. The rupture and fractionation do not usually occur in the water column in vessel or tracheids during the ascent of sap because of dash. See, you need to understand the question here, otherwise you will not be able to answer here. Rupture, it is breakdown. Fractionation, it's once again a kind of breakdown. It do not usually occur in the water column in vessel. So here you need to understand is, the water molecules have great mutual attraction towards each other, and they will have tremendous cohesive power. You call that as cohesive power or cohesion. So one clue I gave you, it is the ascent of the sap is because of cohesion, and the other one is adhesion. Thus the see, sometimes the power will be so high that it sometimes goes to 350 atmosphere. Okay, so the transcription pull develops in the negative pressure in the uppermost xylem cells, and it is then transmitted from there into the xylem of the stem and then to the roots. So here they are talking about the water column of the rupture and the fractionation will not occur in the water column in vessel. It's due to, or it's because of the cohesion and adhesion. Okay, the correct answer goes to option B. Okay, next question here. This question was asked in the year 2005. The ability of the Venus flytrap to capture insects is due to dash. Again, this is an easy question. You all know what a Venus flytrap is. It is called as an insectivorous plant. Right? It is called as an insectivorous plant. This plant, if you see, it is heterotrophic. Okay? It is heterotrophic. It is dependent on another host or a source for its energy, for its food, everything. And these plants feed on insects. They are their major food. So this ability of Venus trap to capture insects is because of the rapid trigger pressure change. Okay, see, in these kind of plants there is some kind of sensor or a recognition part which will make the plant to identify that there is something in contact with the plant, and thereby the plant will recognize it and try to capture it. So that is how the insects get trapped in these kind of insectivorous plants. So what do you mean by tugger? I said what is pressure. Now tell me, what do you mean by tugger? Tugger or turgid, whatever you can call it as, means swollen. Okay, now what turgid means, I said it is swollen. Now what do you mean by tugger? See, tugger can be described as a state of turgidity or a resulting rigidity of the cells or tissues, typically due to the absorption of the fluid. Okay, so this pressure will help the plant to identify that something hasn't come in contact with the plant, and thereby it will trap the insect. So now to your right side you can see this is a picture showing the Venus flytrap. So this is how it is. Okay, therefore the answer for this question is rapid turgor pressure changes. Next question, this question was asked in the year 1988. Minerals absorbed by roots move to the leaf through dash. So this is an easy question for you. I already gave you a hint that xylem will transport water and minerals. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is xylem. And you all know xylem and phloem is a system which is present in vascular plants. They are not present in non-vascular plants. So always remember, it is water and minerals which get absorbed by the roots and which move from leaf to roots or root to leaf, whatever it is through the help of xylem. Okay, option A is the answer. Next question, in soil, the water available for root absorption is dash. So here you have 4 options here: gravitational water, capillary water, and so many here. See, I will tell you one by one. What is gravitational water first? After rain, the portion of water percolates downward under the influence of gravity. We all know water gets absorbed in the land. It is not available to plants. Okay, so the water that gets down or it is drained because of rain will not be in the manner that the plant can absorb. It is absorbed by the ground. Now coming on to the hygroscopic water. They are water which is also not available for plants because the soil particles hold them very firmly and they are not approachable by the plants. Therefore, it is not in an easy access as plants can absorb. Then coming on to capillary water. Now, capillary water is present in the narrow gaps in the soil. Okay, so it is an easy access for the plants to absorb. Combined water is a combination of everything: gravitational, capillary, hygroscopic. They are present everywhere in between the plant system. They might be or they might not be available. That depends upon the circumstance. Okay, so capillary water is the one which is available for root absorption. Okay, capillary water is present in the narrow spaces of the soil and it is held in the soil by the capillary force, and therefore it becomes easy for the plant to absorb. Okay, the correct answer to this question is option B, capillary water. Next question here. This question was asked in the year 1995. The closure of lid of picture plant of the picture plant is due to dash. I think by now you have understood what the answer is. We already saw in Venus flytrap, it is because of the turgor movement. It's a pressure that is exerted by the turbidity. Thereby the plant will understand that something has come in contact and thereby it will trap the insect. Now in pitcher plant there's a small difference. Instead of turgor movement, it goes on to a paratonic movement. Okay, pitcher plant, as you all know, it's again an insectivorous plant. Okay, it's an insectivorous plant. And it is also heterotrophic. It is dependent upon the other source for food. The paratonic movement are induced in response to an external stimuli. So whenever an insect comes in contact with the plant, it triggers the stimuli of the plant. Okay, it triggers the stimuli of the plant. So thereby the plant will understand, okay, there is something in contact with the plant, we need to trap it immediately. So this trapment is because of the paratonic movement, which causes a stimuli to happen in the plant and thereby help the plant to trap the insect. The correct answer to this question is option C, paratonic movement. Now let's move on to the next question here. This question was asked in the year 1992. Okay. What is the question here? Water movement between the cells is due to dash. I think by now you have guessed the answer. Yes, the answer is DBD. What does DBD stand for? Diffusion deficit pressure or pressure deficit. You can call it anyway. Now what is DBD? It is always from the lower to the higher concentration, right? Water is absorbed by a system having higher DBD from another system with a lower DBD. The net force with which water is drawn into the cell will be equal to the difference of the osmotic pressure. Okay, will be equal to the osmotic pressure. So how do you symbolize or how do you show DBD? DBD is equal to osmotic pressure minus turgor pressure. Okay, therefore the water movement between cells is due to the DBD. DBD is a combination of both. When you take a plant, it is combination of both. You will have turgor pressure and you will have osmotic pressure. So together only you will constitute the water movement. Therefore the correct answer is option C. Okay, next, guttation is mainly due to, I think this is an easy question for you because we already saw it in the early slide. Guttation is mainly due to root pressure. Okay, what is guttation now? Loss of water from the margins of the leaves is called as Cartesian, which is expelled, or which is shown in the form of droplets. We all know that, right? I told you that when excess water, or when water is not necessary for the plant and they are present in excess amount, they will be liberalized from the plant in the form of droplets. So that will get absorbed in the air. Okay, so loss of water from the margin of the leaves is called as Cartesian. Cartesian occurs when the transpiration rate is very low. When will the transpiration rate become low? When there is a lot of pressure. Okay, so Cartesian is mainly due to root pressure. So the correct answer to this question is option A, root pressure. Okay. Next question here. This question was asked in the year 1991. The most widely accepted theory for ascent of sap in trees. Okay, this is again an easy question. We just now saw about the ascent in sap, right? Where we saw the column of xylem. What is it involved in? It is involved in cohesion and adhesion. Now, likewise, the most widely accepted theory for ascent of sap in trees is transpirational pull and cohesion theory. I gave you a clue, right? Cohesion and adhesion is related to ascent of sap. So transpirational pull and cohesion theory was put forward by Dixon and Joly in the year, can you remember? Anybody know what the year is? It is in the year 1894. Okay, according to this theory, water rises due to the transpirational pull, and there is a continuity of water now. Right, so there will be a continuity of water in the column, and the cohesive power of the water molecules from the lower part of the roots will happen to move to the higher part of the trees. So this is the theory which was explained in the ascent of sap in trees. So this theory was proposed by Dixon and Joly, which was in the year 1894. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option D, Dixon and Joly, who gave the concept of transpirational pull. Okay, next question. The principal pathway of water translocation in angiosperms is dash. Okay, now angiosperms are the ones which have vascular system, right? We all agree with that. Angiosperms are the vascular plants. Now I almost gave you a hint of what it is. If they are vascular plants, obviously they will have xylem and phloem in it. Therefore, the correct answer, the principal pathway for water. So they have clearly mentioned it is water. So what did I say? If it is water transport, it is xylem, right? So whenever you get questions like this, identify the question first. You will have certain keywords where you need to find, where you'll have a hint, so that it will be easy for you to answer. Likewise, the hints that are given in this question is water and angiosperms. Angiosperms are vascular plants, and water translocation they have spoken. So the correct answer is option C, xylem vessel system. Okay. So we all know xylem is the one which transports minerals and water. Therefore, the correct answer is option C. So with this, we complete part 2 of transport in plants. Hope to meet you all in the next part of the same chapter. Thank you again.